Hi, Tug Toler with Paradigm here. We're going to be doing how to use and care demo on this conneX 16 by Merrychef. Okay, so I went ahead and turned this on. If you wanted to see what it would look like from the beginning, it would just be kind of that on screen. You'd hit this. It's going to ask you for a temperature. If this is the absolute first time that you've done this, you're going to have to go to the settings right here. It's going to ask for a password. In our case, I put in M. Check your manual to see what it is in the manual. Then with the preheat here, you can select whichever ones. I like to always put in an off preheat just because then I can always play with the computer without having to wait for it to preheat. Typically I run for the most part at 500 degrees and you just hit check. And then when you're starting up, it's going to show those preheats, and it's going to look kind of like this. And right now I have the 500 selected. It's going to take about 10 minutes to preheat, okay? This is what your home screen is going to look like. You can change it to multiple different looks. You can change it to where press and go is the only thing there. You can change it to where the cookbook is the only thing there. In this manual mode, this is really where you're going to create your recipes, hence the recipe creation with that chef hat there. When you hit that, it's going to show temperature that we have it running at. It's going to show time. It's going to show fan speed, and this is out of 100, and then microwave out of 100 again. With microwave, when you put on, say I put in 1 minute, let's put in 1 minute. And on the microwave, if I put in 50%, that doesn't mean it's going the whole time. That means that it's doing 50% of whatever time we set the microwave is on. Microwave is all on or all off, just like your microwaves at home. So at 50% for a minute program, we're talking 30 seconds of microwave, okay? In this, if I wanted to add a step, I could do so right here. If I wanted to save it, I could do it right here. If we wanted to try it first, we can hit it here on this start. It knows that I didn't open the door. That brings up a great point. Never, ever, ever run a microwave empty. That's a great way to ruin it. Don't ever run a microwave empty. Don't run for a 10-minute process for one tiny little piece of toast either. It's a great way to break it. So make sure you obviously have the normal load within. That's that for that. Yes, I'm going to discard the changes. Other things, once we get to cookbook, we can go to all recipes. And here we have a whole bunch of recipes that I have put in as we were playing with this for another company. You can put in pictures, obviously. You can make categories. That's what this says here. Add category. We have breakfast here. Especially with categories, you can do day parts. So with day parts, say breakfast, you really only need it about 400 degrees for all the things that you're doing, and 500 is just a bit too aggressive. That's a great way to do a day part temperature difference. For the most part, though, once you have that temperature set for at least that day part, that's all you're going to be doing. You don't want to be going up and down with this unit. That's not what it's designed to do. It's designed to get hot and stay hot. It doesn't really want to cool down very easily, at least not without having to open the door and kick on the fans, and that's not what this is designed for. Really, this is designed for the most part about 90-second or less cooks. So if you find yourself doing something that's 6 minutes in here, if it's something you're doing all the time, you may not want to be doing that in here for 6 minutes. If it's something where you're using it as prep, which we'll be doing later in some recipe videos, that's a good use for that, okay? With this, it has 3 different technologies, okay? I've shown you how to use kind of the computer. The 3 different technologies are microwave, like we talked about. There's convection, and then if you look up underneath, I don't know if we can really see the little holes up there. That's impingement. Impingement means we're forcing air through a smaller hole. That air being pushed through that hole increases the velocity. It helps to strike the product, hence impinge. That's what impinge means, is to strike. So those are the 3 technologies we're using. The temperature is really just to keep that kind of moving through. The convection makes it more of an even, and the impingement is really meant for color and texture, and then the microwave is meant to assist with cooking the internal. You don't want to be using just a microwave, otherwise you would have just bought a microwave, right? The reason we're using this is we're taking the best of all the parts and being able to use them to the best of the advantage of whatever we're trying to cook. All right, so just a few more settings to show you. I'm going to hit the settings button. Once again, it's going to ask for the password. In this case, I have changed it to M. You can change it to whatever, but obviously look at your manual to make sure which one is you have, what the starting password is. So we have modes here. We can do full serve, quick serve, press and go, manual. All of these kind of have different features and functions. As a chef, if you're playing with it and you want to be able to have full control, full serve. If you're doing quick serve, that means for the most part we have all of our programs already set. We don't really want anyone playing with it, changing it, editing it. That's what that quick serve would be. Same thing with the press and go. Press and go is even easier, where it's going to be these set menus. You can even hide some of the menus, or the menu programs, so you don't have to have all, to where they just open the door, put in the product, and hit that program that has a picture of it and says what it is, and that's it. Finally, this manual one is kind of like full serve, but it gives you less options. So instead of full control over, if you wanted 45% microwave, in manual mode it's going to be 25, 50, 75, or 100. Same thing with the fan, 25, 50, 75, and 100. Obviously in full we can make many different steps, and if you wanted 66% fan, we could do 66% fan, okay? All right, I want to show you cleaning. So here at the end of the day, we're done. It says clean. These are the things to assemble, to get together. It's saying leave door slightly open or fully open. And hit that. It walks you through what to do. It's going to start to cool down. Go ahead and add some ice and leave the door open. All right, so it's saying we can clean the cavity now. That means that it's come down to a temperature that's not going to immediately burn us. You can take out that ice pan, put it to the side. After that, you can take this. You take this to the dish pit. This comes out. We'll do that here in a second. This is the oven cleaner. We also have a protectant. The protectant goes on afterwards. With this, it tells you what to do. So it says remove cool down pan and cook plate from oven, which we just did. Remove food particles. I don't see any there. We're good. Now, spray an approved oven cleaner into a sponge, wipe down sides, back, and base. So that'd be this. We're going to not suggest to just spray it directly in there. Go ahead and spray it, kind of soak it down on a towel. You could be wearing gloves. This is a non-caustic degreaser, but it's still a good idea to be wearing gloves in general. And then just kind of wipe it down all the way through, and you would do this for the whole oven. I like to go ahead and wipe it down and then let it sit. Then once you kind of wipe it, I go ahead and just kind of leave it in there for a bit, 5 minutes or so, just to kind of help that come off. I'll give it one more wipe down. Then when I'm done with that, I get a little sanded bucket, a little water, fresh water, with a new towel. Go ahead and wipe it all down. I don't want it dripping wet. I don't want it to make like a big flood in there, but I'm going to rinse it down with that. I'm going to dump that water and do it one more time with a fresh rag just to make sure that we got all of that oven cleaner off. And then we're going to spray this on a new rag, cover that within there, and we're done. It's one last thing we're going to show you on here, and it's actually going to step you through this once we're done also, is saying wait to 5 minutes for the cleaner to work. Warm soapy water, dry with clean cloth. Now it's going to ask us to put it back together. And the final thing it's going to ask us to do is this air filter down here. So rotate that down, take this off. Take this, if you want to the dish pit and spray it out, but if you do, make sure that it dries, okay? So if you do spray it out with the dish at the dish pit, put it up there till the morning so that it's dried, and then the first thing you're gonna do before you turn it on is go ahead and put this back in. If not, if you wanna go ahead and wipe this down and then just put it back in, that's fine as well. There we go. It just sits right on there, and these go out so that you can pick it up. And now that it knows that it's been done, saying turn off oven, and we're done. Thank you guys very much. Be sure to check out our social media feeds for Paradigm on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you very much.